Wednesday morning, ladies and gentlemen, it's the morning break. Does it already feel like Wednesday, or has this week for you been dragging? It has been dragging. Hey, I want to tell everybody how much I appreciate yesterday, our biggest day on the morning break. Yesterday, biggest one-day viewership. And you know what? That's because people just like you, who, man, I appreciate so very much. Appreciate you catching the whole, and I don't even like saying this, whole vibe of the morning show. It boggles me. Huge day yesterday across social media for the morning break. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is big news to us. It is. It's very important. And for those of you that don't know, and if you haven't watched every show, and I can't blame you, I probably wouldn't watch every show, is we have, this was really a God thing. This was something that over the last year, I'd been kind of just going, I don't really want to do this. I have no desire to do this. We've got all kinds of cool stuff going on. In fact, our guest today, Jason Webb, and I do a show called Thrive. And we have fun with that. And that was kind of it. It was kind of like, it was fun to do a weekly television show with him. Of course, to do the show with my wife, the Robin Kristen show. And so it was nice to do this and to do something different. And it's fun. It's kind of us just getting a chance to share. 10th day of September tomorrow, of course, September 11th, a day that we should never forget. And where were you? You never know. If things work out, I may hop on and do a quick morning break tomorrow. It was a very impactful day for me, and we can talk about that at that point. But that's tomorrow, September 10th today. Great day. It's Wednesday. It's a little cold here. Now, yesterday, you noticed I was wearing a polo. Today, we're back to hoodie weather. Welcome to Defiance, Ohio, where you never know exactly what the weather's going to do. So we're going to do that. Hey, listen, we're going to start off today, though, and thank the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. 7 Weeks Coffee has been fantastic to us. In our first story, our lead story, maybe the most important story of the week. And it's only Wednesday. Have you heard about this already? The folks at Cracker Barrel announced late yesterday, and I think they were hoping to kind of bury in the cycle, as we say, for those of us in the public relations world, you're hoping to bury in the cycle late in the day with a news story that Cracker Barrel has decided to completely stop all renovation of all of the Cracker Barrels in the United States. They're bringing back the old logo, and they have heard you clearly. And you know what? I think it's important. I think there are parts of us, and especially as we grow older, and Cracker Barrel's age range is an older age range. In fact, when I used to go there, I was probably the youngest person there. And so it's kind of interesting to see. They lost, of course, estimates around $100 million when they did change the logo, which, by the way, if they would have, and I don't remember how much they spent on the logo alone, they could have come to me. Me and Canva could have easily done that. They're bringing back the antiques. They're headed to their warehouses. They've got a couple of them, one in Middle Tennessee, where they store a lot of this stuff, where they rotate it. Here's the thing, and this is my take on this before we bring Jason on, is and I want to say this as nicely as possible, and I'm really trying to be better at not being harsh about things, but their food had just gotten terrible. Their portions were small. They used to have I believe it was called and I haven't eaten there in a few years. It's been like over 2 years since I've eaten at a Cracker Barrel because of bad service and just bad food. It was two things. It was one, the portions were less, which you go to a place like Cracker Barrel, you're not going there for fine dining. I don't need 3 sprigs of something on there. That's my opinion. So that's number 1. Number 2, the food quality had gotten worse. I remember when it was a big deal to go to Cracker Barrel in the 90s, or it was like, yeah, late 90s, early 2000s. I went to Cracker Barrel a lot when I was traveling in the South, and I loved Cracker Barrel. Maybe because it was different being from Seattle. Maybe that was the catch part for me. But I don't know. I think they need to do better on the food. It's great. And don't get me wrong, I love that they're going back to the old thing, because personally, I think that was a huge part of what made people mad. I think also what made people mad is it finally got to a boiling point where they went, "You know what? Your food's terrible, your service is terrible, and now you're changing your logo, and we love Cracker Barrel." I don't know. Great coffee this morning from the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. Remember, when you go to 7weekscoffee.com, use the promo code ATV10. And when we come back after this break, my buddy, Jason Webb. No, I'm not going to bug him about Texas football anymore. I promise. I may mention it, but I won't bother him long term. That's when we come back after this.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy. A life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, one cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Remember the great folks at 7weekscoffee.com, 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you order. And now time for a man who needs no introduction because he is that famous. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Jason Webb. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, Rob. You don't see my normal background today, man.
Nope. It's not the cool background. It's definitely different. You got good shining light on your face though.
That's what I was going for, really, because this glow. I got to get this.
Yes. So before we get into other stuff like Arch Manning and beating up on teams that really don't matter, he threw 5 touchdown passes against who?
Hey, it doesn't matter, Rob. He still did it. Okay.
Okay.
We're taking wins when we can get them.
Trophy time. We throw 5 against Middle Western Tennessee State University or whoever it was. I don't even remember who it was. But it was, you laugh at that. Of course, hey, Ohio State just blew out Grambling. So, I mean, I'm not going to, it was 70-0. And I don't think they played anybody in the second half. I think the band was playing.
No, I don't think so either. But hey, and then we also had our first week of NFL football this past weekend as well.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
We can talk because we won and your Seahawks lost, so we're going to the Super Bowl. I told you this right after the game. First game of the year.
Okay. Enjoy this moment, but realize something. And I thought of this because I knew this was going to come up before we get to the topic I want to talk about. I knew this was going to come up. I was going to let it slide, but you realized you almost lost to the worst team in the NFL. I mean, like, they're not even picked to win more than 3 games this year.
but we still won, though. That's the ultimate matter,
And I will tell you this: I didn't get to see a lot of the game, but I do know the Tennessee Titans quarterback Cam Ward, and Cam looks like he's going to be legit.
He looked really, really good, actually. I actually really like the guy. Just hearing about his background with his dad and his mom, his faith background. He brings God to the forefront of everything with that too. He thanks him. He's very respectful, and the kid just works. One of the sayings when he was going through training camp, because he was the first person in the office or in the training camp every day was that, hey, if my dad could wake up at 5:30 every morning to go to a job that he did not like so he could support us, he goes, the least I can do is go to a job every morning at 5:30 that I actually really like to do. Yeah. And so I was that's cool.
It's a neat dynamic there. Tyler Lockett, who's an awesome Christian, is his cousin. And so that family is just fantastic. Of course, Cam was at Washington State University for a season and then went to Miami and had a great season there, and then had the unfortunate luck of being picked by the Tennessee Titans.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Is if you look up dumpster fire in the dictionary, there's the logo for the Tennessee Titans there. That team is in deep trouble. But hey, they played out of their minds. That was kind of their Super Bowl. Seahawks, on the other hand, goodness, Sam Darnold was Sam Darnold there at the end. Only threw for 150. Looked, and I get it. Whole new offense going in, whole new situation, new players. But man, he looked lost. He did.
Which then we get into our fantasy football team with football as well this week. And
we don't have to talk about that either. I lost by 1 point, man.
That's why I had to rub it in. That's why I had to bring it up, Rob. Because man, it's such a wide range of scores that can happen, and you lost by 1 point. Still doesn't matter. You lost.
I know. It's still.
I'd rather lose by 20 than 1.
But hey, I want to talk to you about because as a business side, I want to talk about this whole Cracker Barrel rebrand thing and the lack thereof.
Yep.
And I don't know. We've never talked about this, so I don't know. Do you like Cracker Barrel? Do you go to Cracker Barrel?
We do go to Cracker Barrel from time to time, especially after church here and there, because it's right on the way home from church. But you were very correct in saying that the portion sizes have definitely shrunk. The food quality has definitely went down because I love Cracker Barrel. My family does as well, but it's not like it was just even a few years ago. We actually, for some of our holiday meals and stuff, we make the Cracker Barrel green beans. Like we have a copycat recipe, and I get the green beans when I go to Cracker Barrel. They don't taste the same anymore.
No,
it's not nearly as good, Rob. And me and my family, we do love Cracker Barrel. The logo, I liked the old logo, and I didn't like the whole changeover, and we were actually just gonna not even go anymore, and we still might not even, just because of how they went through the whole process. But it's definitely not something that I don't know. It definitely struck a chord wrong, right? And we see that with a lot of the companies.
I think what happened was they took for granted, and this was something else I was going to say in my open, is I think they took for granted the people that they had as customers. And a lot of those customers were very faithful, even when the food quality had gone down. There were a lot of people. A lot of my friends that travel and sing music, they'll stop at a Cracker Barrel because they have bus parking. They have truck parking, and bus. And I don't know. I just think they mishandled this thing. And I realize sometimes, and you and I both have worked in the marketing world, sometimes you live in a vacuum for the moment. And I think they lived in a vacuum thinking, I don't know. I don't know where they were going. I get it. I know that, the whole kitchen feel of that country kitchen type feel, which, by the way, used to be a restaurant a long time ago called Country Kitchens.
Yep,
but
there was.
They had a wishing well and everything. It was very cool. You'll have to go look it up if you're under the age of 40, because I think they stopped about when we were kids. So, but, I think they just misread the room. And I think at that point, almost, it was like people that enjoyed going there went, that's it. I'm dead. You pushed my last button.
I agree completely. They took for granted their target market, their ideal audience. I think that they thought that their normal customer was just maybe an older generation or so, that if they could rebrand it, they could bring in some more of the newer generation. Well, they didn't realize that newer generation still likes those old values, and they're going to lose the whole customer base of the older generation, which those are the ones spending the money anyways. So why would you even think about changing the whole image of something that's been around for so long? We see that with so many other companies. You see it with Target doing some of their stuff, and some of these other companies that are, we call it going woke, go broke, right? It's seriously, and it's more of just that mindset of, okay, we got to change this. Why do you need to change it? Like, let's get the food better. Like, seriously, in that industry, get the food better, get the portions better. You can charge a little bit more. That's okay. You don't need to charge the cheaper rates. People will pay a couple more bucks for good food.
Well, and I think that was it. And what you said really does ring true for a lot of younger people. They went there with their grandparents, and you had to run the gauntlet of the gift shop
of the country store. Yeah.
Yes. Which, you know what? Surprisingly, I found some cool stuff there on several occasions. I used to get my root beer barrels. They had the root beer sticks instead of the barrels. It's the only place I could find those. And that was a joke. Several of my staff members, every time I would come down, they would bring me a bag of those root beer sticks. And that was kind of a thing. And it kept me while I was, because when I'm working in like a hotel room or something, I sit there and I have to have something going on in my head, or in my hand, or, something. And that would do it. And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I thought this was super interesting, story came out today, how faith-driven music is now like becoming mainstream on Billboard.
Yep.
And they were talking about Alex Warren. I don't know if you've heard the song Ordinary.
Yep.
Alex Warren's song has been on the Hot 100 for 20 weeks.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing to see God work in that space. Like, they had the VMA Awards over this past week, and man, one of the biggest shows out there was actually a worship song that they had out there. It was incredible to see this and see like everybody going crazy for it, and maybe people weren't necessarily realizing the words that they were hearing on this or something, but they loved the beat, and God was just, man, he was working in there. And we're starting to see this more, where people are coming and being bold about their faith, especially from those bigger podiums, to where we can talk about this stuff. But I love seeing this stuff come to the forefront, especially on this Billboard chart stuff. Man, it is so cool. And Christian music, there's still the traditional Christian music with the hymns and things like that, which is amazing. The Southern gospel roots, and then coming to see some of the new stuff and all of it kind of pairing together. God's working in this, and it's been really cool to see.
The guy I've been following is Forrest Frank. I think he's super cool. Like, if I were young, he'd be like somebody I'd hang out with. He's like a dude. And I love his music, love his stuff. And I was really introduced to him through social media. And I had no idea who he was. And I was like, oh, this is very cool. And then I realized he was like really a big deal. I was like, I guess I didn't know, but that kind of stuff. And I think you're right. I think it's neat that we're kind of taking new territory as Christians. And it also tells me something, and you and I talk about this a lot. And that is, if you bring quality, if you bring a quality product, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or if you're not. And I think that's so, and I say this from a background of 20 plus years working in Christian music. I will tell you that sometimes, and I've heard it said often in meetings, well, our Christian base will forgive us. No. And see, now you're seeing a lot of this where it's coming out and it looks and sounds so different. And I love it. I love what they're doing. I'm excited. I love seeing it. I love all the where you're getting, and I'm going to get heat for this, and I'm prepared for it. So send me your messages, where secular artists or mainstream artists, whatever you want to call them, are pairing with Christian artists. I love that, because here's the thing. It's introducing that style of music to a whole group of people that have never thought or heard about it.
Oh, I agree. You see, like you said, the pairings there, like Jelly Roll with Brandon Lake, seeing those pairings, and you if you actually do some research and just took up some YouTube videos that say like Justin Bieber singing worship music now, Eminem singing worship music now. I don't know if you saw that last album, Rob.
I did not.
It is actually, there's some pieces a little strange with it, but him singing about God and his walk, like, it's bringing in God into a new voice with the whole new group of, or crowd of people that we would have never really thought of. But man, these guys have a lot of influence. These people have a lot of influence, and now they're starting to move into that. I love seeing it.
Oh, I do too. I think it's incredible. And I think we're seeing a lot of neat stuff happening in the world. And you look like last night, University of Oklahoma, all the young students being baptized. They
Mhm.
had a great meeting at the I think it's called the Field House or something. I can't remember. Don't come at me. I can't remember every university's uh basketball stadium, but I think it's called the Field House or something along that lines. Anyway, they had a great thing, and they baptized a ton of kids. Ohio State University,
They did that too. Mhm.
they they have a Bible study led by the football team,
Yep.
and I think we're seeing that, and I think that's so exciting. And it's a time, and some of the other areas of my life that I love to talk about is once you get confidence, and both Jason and I played sports. Once you get a certain level of confidence, you then become bolder. And I think as Christians, I think we're getting to see like this little certain level of confidence. And now Christians in general are opening themselves up to walk into different places that maybe they wouldn't have walked in before.
I agree. I agree. Seeing it there, that boldness, like you said, there was just incredible. Um, Seeing like the Ohio State thing, I was going to bring that up, but you did. Seeing how they can do these marches, these things all over the campus. Well, like we heard about this past year about the faith industry, that it's growing, right? It's not in the decline anymore. It's actually more people are coming to faith, and especially more younger people. Like we're seeing a lot more younger people come to faith. There's been studies on this, and there's data driven with this. And for the first time in decades, there's actually more men coming to Christ younger than there are women, which that's been a very long time since that's been the case.
That is an amazing turnaround, and we're so thankful. We pray about that, of course, with Abundant TV and with everything that we're doing. It's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, you
Uh,
too.
we
And I think I got one more thing for you real fast, Rob.
Yes.
I truly think a lot of it is the social media presence. Like you said, you got Forrest Frank on your social media side. That's where you kind of fell into that, and that's where that younger generation sits. And one thing that we work with, it's I'm sure you're going to be bringing up here, is Act Social, right?
That's where I was headed. Thank you for the plug. Hey, listen, we're so excited about being a part of this. Thank you, buddy, by the way, for being with me today. It is so much fun to have you here. Act Social is a great place. You can find Jason on Act Social and me on Act Social. Go to actsocial.com and sign up. And I believe they still have a reference thing. You can put ATV or you can put Abundant TV. And when you sign up, and it helps them know all that kind of stuff. But we really believed in it so much that we have become a corporate sponsor. And the neat thing is you'll find Jason and I not only on our own pages, but in the Abundant group, which is, by the way, the fastest growing group on Act Social. So cool. And the funny part about it is like and I'll admit this, there are days where I forget to go check the group, which is not good. And I'm admitting it here on TV as never good. But there are days where I'll go log on, do my own thing, and then I get off, and Kristen will say, "Hey, how did that go? How's the group going?" I'm like, forgot.
But that is really us posting those, or us commenting in there. It's nobody else. Yes. It's us. Genuinely,
it is us. Hey, listen, buddy, it was good seeing you. We will talk again next week. When we come back from the break, hey, we've got final thoughts.
Social media today is noisy, divided, and too often hostile to Christian values, a place where truth is twisted and faith is often silenced. What if there was a place for believers where you could share your story, grow in your faith, and be encouraged every day? Introducing Acts Social, the #1 Christ-centered social platform built to unite Christians worldwide in truth, hope, and love. Share your faith openly. Discover powerful, uplifting content. Join prayer groups. Encourage others. Find news and events from a biblical worldview all in one place, and do it all free from big tech censorship, invasive tracking, and endless ads. Because the body of Christ was never meant to be scattered. It was meant to be together, every day, everywhere. ActsSocial.com, the fastest growing platform for Christ-centered connection. Join us and be part of something eternal.
Hey, we're so excited to be a part of Acts Social. Go to actsocial.com. Remember, check out Jason and I on there, my wife, Kristen, and some of the great people that you see on Abundant TV are there, including the great folks at EPW, and they have their own groups. So you can go check it out. I don't know what they're going to do there. I don't have any back information about that, but check out actsocial.com. That's ACTS social.com, and check them out. And if they still have the referral on there, make sure that you mention Abundant TV. Kind of a concerning story and a final thought for today. If you've been following this, it's kind of tough. It's over in the UK right now, and it's called the Children's Wellbeing and School Bill. And if you haven't seen this, it affects homeschool kids. And it's going to be an interesting whole story. And my thought on this is something that we here in the United States need to watch. Homeschooling is very important, and in fact is growing very quickly. Numbers I've seen anywhere from 15 to 20% of parents are taking their kids and either homeschooling them or moving them to Christian schools. And this situation in the UK is something to watch, because sometimes what happens in the UK then becomes part of what we see here in the United States. And it's an interesting thing that it's going to affect. They're going to do some stuff. And I want you to read the whole thing. And it's heavy into monitoring what you and what you can and can't teach, even in homeschooling. They're going to monitor your house, monitor your teaching style. And I get it. I get you want kids to have the best possible education. We all do. But at the same time, that's something to watch if you're a homeschooler here in the United States. If your family is homeschooling, I'll be watching what's going on in the UK. It's something definitely that we need to talk about. Finally, close this out, and it was amazing to me. David Walker, he's a linebacker and rookie for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Every night, and then the story, you'll have to go find it because I don't have enough time to get in deep into the story. But every night after practice, after everything else, his routine is to do prayer and Bible study. And it caught attention not only locally but nationally, because he really is like out there in your face talking about his faith. And I love that. And I love that from a sport that you don't think about football. And we talk a lot about now Christians in football, but the persona, of course, especially of a linebacker, is somebody mean and tough and just, trust me, I've been hit by a few linebackers, and that is not fun. I'm sure Jason, if he were still here, would tell you the same thing. Those guys tee off on you, and it is painful. But David has got this Bible study going, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is a rookie. Check out that story. And man, that is the final thought for today here on the Morning Break with Rob Patz. Where's the time gone? It goes by way too fast, and it is crazy every time we do this show. Just how much fun it is and how quickly it goes, and how I don't know. I'm sad. I'm sad when it's over, but happy that we get to do it again. How about that? Hey, listen, hope you've enjoyed part of your day hanging out with me during the day. This is a time we call the Morning Break for you and I to hang out, talk about life, and have some fun friends over. We'll see you again next time for the Morning Break.